Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Um, this lesson was inspired by a video I was watching that was done by the elder apostle Ramlab, and I believe it was called "They're Coming." And he mentioned, he mentioned, he said, he said something along the lines of the Lord has given the Spirit to the elect to be able to maneuver through the maze of deception. All right, and so I was like, hey, well, he said that's a topic right there. Which when I heard it, I was like, that's actually a good lesson, a title for a lesson. So Lord willing, this be edifying to the elect. But building off of that statement, all right, that's that the Lord has given the Spirit to the elect to maneuver through the maze of deception. And basically, as you see everything that's going on now, and even prior to the things that are happening now, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Not just that, but the Spirit that the Lord brings with it. Okay, because you may have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and you can still end up making poor decisions based on the spirit. You see, the Lord can put a lying spirit on you. He can put a spirit of deception on you. He can put a spirit of being bugged out on you, and it doesn't matter how wise you are or how much knowledge you have, you'll still end up going off. You'll still end up doing something that's not going to benefit you. If you look at King Solomon for an example, King Solomon was one of the wisest men, all right, that ever lived, and he ended up going off, okay, because of the spirit. So, and the Lord had that happen for a reason. Now, in the times we're in now, the Lord is going to give the elect a certain kind of spirit to where when it seems like there's nowhere else to go, and where others see no way out, the elect will see a way out. They'll see a way to hang on, a way to maneuver, that hope to just hold on, to make those decisions that seem like it's over. It seems like there's no way this could possibly work. Well, the Lord will put the Spirit on the elect to make those kinds of decisions, but also for it to work, for their hands to prosper in accomplishing it. Because there's a reason the scriptures say in Isaiah 33:6 that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Because that wisdom and knowledge, the true wisdom and knowledge that comes from the Lord, is going to come with a spirit of discernment, all right, and a spirit to know how to move. Because we're going to need to be guided by the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, literally. You may be going one way and the spirit may tell you stop, go this way or turn around. All right. And you may turn around and then find out that if you had kept going, something bad would have happened. Maybe if there's people patrolling the streets or whatnot, they would have found you and probably killed you or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you cut the corner on the left and here it is. You stumble across like a ice chest or a cooler, and it's just filled with food and all this, that, and the third. All these things the Lord has set up in place already for His elect. But dealing more so with the tribulation and the adversity, the Lord is going to have the elect be put in a position that'll set them up for success, so they can maneuver through both the lies that are being told to push this new world order, but also how to survive in a world where truth is outcasted and ridiculed, and where they seek to destroy those that fear the Lord. So this is the book of Proverbs 27:12, and it says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself." Now, you have prophets, which were called seers, and pursuant to Amos 3:7, the Lord reveals His secrets unto His servants, the prophets. And that allows us to see ahead, foresight. We can see ahead, okay, and see the evils that are to come and prepare ourselves. But not only us, but those that listen to us. That's why the scriptures talk about the men that prophesy, but also those that should be saved through listening or taking heed to those words. Why is that? Because the prophets are able to see, they're able to foresee the evil, okay? And then when they warn others, those who take heed are also able to foresee the evil through the prophets. Those that are not prophets are able to still know what's coming ahead, what's coming down the road, and how to prepare for it through the prophets, even though they may not be prophets themselves. And because of that, they get that heads up, and they're also able to hide themselves. First and foremost, through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, building up their faith and taking heed. See, whatever we tell you to do, we're doing it. When we tell you to pray, we tell you to fast, we tell you to build up your faith, to read these scriptures, to get into the right mindset and the right spirit, we do that. That's why we're giving you that advice. It says, but the simple pass on and are punished. So and when we tell them what's to come, instead of them taking heed and spiritually hiding themselves and seeking the Lord while he may be found, that they may be able to run into his name, pursuant to Proverbs 18 and 10, they pass on. They don't prepare. They just go straight ahead, and then they meet the evil that we saw. And then when it finally comes upon everybody, guess what? They give in. They break. Now let's look up the word prudent. Okay. It says irawum. Okay. It says subtle, crafty, sensible. Sensible. You see that? So if you're sensible, that's why we're always remaining circumspect, but that's why we're always talking about the future. We're always talking about the things to come because we're sensible. We see the danger, and it's always good to keep your eye on the danger, measuring how close it is, so you can stay prepared and give the warning. Now this is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. And it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Now, how is it that we are not ignorant of his devices? Well, it's through the spirit that the Lord has given us to maneuver through the maze of deception. Because when you really look at the world today, the media, the narrative, the news, this is a giant web, a giant maze. And there is deception on every corner. Where you may go one way, follow this guy, listen to this guy, thinking, oh, he knows the truth, and then you come and hit a dead end and find out he's controlled opposition. Then you got to come all the way back, follow another path, and you following that path. Okay, this news site looks like they're doing. Then you find out some information that, oh, they're really funded by George Soros, or they're funded by one of these elites, and they're owned by this. Okay, so then that means they're using a spin doctor and throwing this information. So then you come back, and you say, okay, I found the Israelites. They speak some truth. Let me follow this path, and it gets you further than the other two. But then you might be following one of the wrong groups, and then you come and hit a dead end, and they teaching some false madness. And you got to come back, and if the spirit is not on you to discern, you're gonna just keep getting stuck there. You're gonna go from different people to different people to different people, and keep having to come back and find the other path. And then keep doing that. But the elect are going to be able to maneuver and say, okay, well, I can follow this path to this point and then jump on here and follow, because following that path, you're going to be following the right men who are going to be teaching you the way to Yahweh Shai, the way out of the maze of deception. And it's not just a dead end that you may hit. You're going to hit calamities. You're going to hit destruction. You're going to hit plagues. So if you're not maneuvering the right way and you're making wrong judgments, wrong decisions, taking wrong turns, you will get taken advantage of. Because if you're not ignorant of Satan's devices, if you think, oh, they're evil, but they're only evil to this extent, and you underestimate them, they're gonna take advantage of you. All right. So as it says, lest Satan, the adversary, should get an advantage of us. For we are not ignorant of his devices, his plans, his schemes, his policies. We're not ignorant of it. We're not ignorant of his capabilities. We're not ignorant of the things that the power he's been given. We're not ignorant of his nature and how he is a serpent-like individual and how he deceives and he plays on words and he plays on the minds of people and he controls the narrative. We're not ignorant of that. So we know our enemy. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, we're able to maneuver and fight this enemy. See, right now is a mental thing. It's information versus information. What you know versus what they know. How can they influence your mindset? How can they influence your perception? How can they deceive you? Versus how strong are you mentally? How rooted are you in the scriptures? How are you able to combat the false information, or the information that may be wrapped on the outside in truth, but on the inside is a lie? It's a mental back and forth mental battle. But very soon it's going to get physical. Okay? And as the Lord said in Matthew 24, verse 24, he warned us. He said, "For there shall arise false anointed and false prophets." Now, these false anointed and false prophets, it doesn't just deal with, of course, you have Israelites, you have so-called pastors and whatnot, but you also have Esau with his quote-unquote miracles, which he deceived the world, and he's going to use those to try and deceive really the world. But guess what? That's not going to work. The plan of this devil is to have a socialist. He has a socialist agenda. All right, where they try to make a difference between communism and socialism, but it's pretty much the same thing. They have an oligarch that's at the top, a small group of individuals at the top ruling everything, and they do that by, first off, doing away with capitalism. Forget that. All right, they go into a country. Let's say you take the U.S. for an example, and then they what they do is they make it seem like, well, what did they teach you communism is? Oh, well, communism is everybody's equal, right? We all get equal. We all on the same playing field, and we all, a doctor and a carpenter, get the same pay, and we're all on the same level. But hold on, if that's really the case, what about the super rich? Are they on the same level as you? No. And where does all the wealth goes? Where does all the wealth go, and who distributes it? So everybody else is on a playing field, but somebody has to have all the wealth to distribute it and make sure we're all equal. Somebody has to keep that policy in place. Who do you think that's going to be? So what they do is they use they first off, that your quote unquote constitution, forget about that. It's done. It's like toilet paper, because the people that are supposed to raise red flags when the constitution is being breached or broken, those people are influenced or have been infiltrated by these same elites. And then the people that train or teach the new generation to become those red flag raisers are also influenced. So now you have a bunch of people that will not raise a red flag if your constitutional rights are being violated or changed. All right? And with that, they centralize the federal government, give them all the power so they can control everything and you can have nothing. And then they control whoever controls the federal government. And guess what? They got control of your nation. Then they break down all the world governments and make them the same. So you have communism on a inside a country level, but then you have socialism on a world level, where they control all the leaders who control all the people in their countries. And then they have a centralized government, aka the United Nations, and they control them. So there's a reason they want a one world government and one world currency. They want to put the whole world into one big ass country where they control everything. Okay? And so they have these signs and this, and they will give you why do you think they're setting up a universal basic income? Why do you think they're crippling? If you notice, Sicky Vicky has crippled the whole world to put them all on the same level. Everybody, if you notice now, a couple years ago, these countries everybody was doing their own thing. But now everybody's doing the same thing. There's a trend. One country does it, everybody does it. One country does this, everybody does this. Because it's putting everybody on the same level so that they can break that separate agenda, break the individualism, and put it together as one. Well, whatever the US is doing, whatever the UK is doing, Italy's doing it, France is doing it, is the same agenda. Okay, so they can control it all. But as it says here, Matthew 24 and 24, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. But guess what? It's not possible. Why? Because they've been given the spirit to maneuver through the maze of deception. So they can't deceive the elect. They could put a path that looks like a path, but it's not really a path, and the elect will see right through it because the Lord will direct them elsewhere. But then you have the rest of these people who fall right for it because they haven't been given that spirit. And you may tell them, look, don't go that way. It's a dead end. Don't go that way. It's going to lead you to the wrong path. Oh, yeah, whatever. I know what I'm doing. I'll find out when I find out. If it is, then it is. I'll deal with it. Okay. So deal with it. This is 2 Corinthians 4:3. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are what? That are lost. And when you're in the maze and you can't find the right path, what are you? You're lost because you don't have the spirit to maneuver through it. So the gospel, right, and the spirit that comes with it is what helps us maneuver. All right, is our GPS. One precept leads to another precept, leads to another precept, and it helps us maneuver through this mental maze of deception. Verse 4, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. And who are the powers of this world right now? Esau, Edom. Because pursuant to Job 9:24, and pursuant to the blessing they were given, and pursuant to 2 Ezra 6:9, about them being in rulership at the end of the world, they have the power to blind the minds of them which believe not. That's why they got people on their side, people following the narrative. It says, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of God, should shine onto them. So and how do they do that? They demonize the light, the glorious gospel of the Lord, so that you stay away from it and it's not able to shine onto you. But you know what? That's okay, because if it doesn't shine onto you, then it wasn't given to you. It's not meant for you. That means you're meant to be lost in the maze, lost in the sauce. Okay? But the elect, guess what? Once again, they're going to be given that spirit. See, right now, we don't know how we're going to react. We know we hope to react a certain kind of way, which is to stay faithful. But we don't know how we're going to react put in certain conditions because we haven't been put in those conditions yet. You know, it's easy for people to say, no, we're not going to wear no mask. No, we're not going to do this. No, we're not with the federal government. But do you think these elites don't have a plan for that? They absolutely have a plan for that. What is interesting to see is how many people are going to keep the same energy. See, it's one thing to say, we're not going to force those mandates. We're not going, as businesses, have our customers do this. Okay. Now, when your business starts going under, because you best believe they will find ways to convince you and coerce you. And when you as an individual say, well, I haven't eaten in 3 days going on 4 days. I don't have a job. I can't pay rent. I'm damn near homeless. Okay. Wintertime is coming. It's cold outside. I don't have heater. I can't pay utility bills. I can't pay my car note. I can't pay for insurance. I'm not getting unemployment benefits. I don't know what to do. See, when all that is happening to you, is it still as easy for you to come up here and say, nah, I'm not going to force these men. Nah, I'm not going to take it. That's why we're going to need the spirit of the Lord to be on us in order to do that. In order for us to be able to have that mindset, even when all that may be happening to us. We're going to need a different spirit to override the flesh, to override the suffering and all of that. And that spirit is going to be so strong that you're not going to feel anything. You're going to be like the 7 brothers in the book of Maccabees. Or like Stephen when he was being stoned to death. His mindset wasn't there. He was somewhere else. Okay? Now as it says, Matthew 13:16, but blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Okay? So we've been blessed, especially now, not only to be able to discern, but to be able to have the right mindset and see the prophecies taking place. To these people, they think it's just regular life. Like, oh, this is some anomaly that just happened in our everyday to day life that has just interrupted us. No, this is something that has been spoken of for ages to happen. So this is a big event. These people just see it as, oh, well, it's just something that we'll get over. It happens. No. So we have the mindset to know and identify what time we're in and the importance and the essence of it, and also the importance of having a certain mindset, all right, and a certain belief in these times. All right, so we recognize it for what it is. This isn't just a regular test. This isn't a test that just happens to everybody. This is the test. And us knowing that this is the test, we're going to do our best on it. Okay, but it's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.